All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Last week, we talked about all of the pros of living at Lake of the Ozarks, and today I get to talk about all the cons of living at Lake of the Ozarks. And for the most part, when we're talking, we are talking pros, right? We're talking why people are moving here, benefits, the advantages, the lake life, like all of those fun things. But just like anywhere you move, there's always gonna be some cons. So I wanted to share some of the cons. I don't think any of them are gonna deter you from purchasing or moving or whatever here at the lake, but there are some cons and definitely some things to think about. So I wanted to talk about a few of those. Obviously, I'm here to help with anything that you need. Along the way, hit the like button, subscribe, leave me comments on your feedback of the cons. Actually, every time I make a con video, you guys give me some interesting feedback. Even though you know I'm goofing and joking on some of them, I look forward to your comments. Anyway, one of the cons, which is a real con, is understanding that this is a tourist destination, right? So this is a tourism area, peak season, Memorial Day to Labor Day. You are gonna have an influx in tourism. And as good as that is for the economy here, it can be a con for some of the locals, right? Tourism comes into the area, they create traffic, right? So it's harder to get around the lake, there's more traffic, and there's more congestion in the retail stores, the grocery stores, the restaurants, right? There's more of that, and sometimes people come here to have a little fun, and with that, there is a little riffraff or maybe some excessive one too many drinks kind of thing. Like, that's everywhere you go. But here it is a thing, right? So you are gonna have this tourism attraction. You're gonna have a bunch of people coming in between Memorial and Labor Day. With that comes congestion. With that comes some unforeseen behavior. It is what it is. It can be a con for some people. It also is dependent on where you live on the lake, right? What part of the lake are you? Are you close to all of that stuff? Or are you like us, right? Mile marker 42, we're away from a lot of it, so we don't feel it as much, but it's definitely a thing, so that's your first con. The second con that comes along with that tourism piece is, a lot of these tourism destinations, right? Some of these bars and lakeside restaurants and activities that we all love to do in the summertime, they might just close down during the wintertime, or a lot of them do, right? These establishments rely on tourism. So there's just not enough local support to keep them all open all year round. So if you love that lakeside restaurant, or you love that outdoor activity, or you love that lakeside bar, chances are it's probably gonna shut down after Labor Day, after October, and it's probably not gonna open back up until April, May, like into that Memorial Day kind of time frame. So food for thought. Maybe it's a con, maybe it doesn't matter to you, but it's for sure those places are gonna shut down during the wintertime. During the wintertime could be another con for you. This is going to be a 4-season place, right? So with 4 seasons, you will have a winter. If you don't want a winter, then don't move here. Simple as that, right? But the winters here aren't gonna be as harsh as your winters in other places, right? Colorado, Michigan, Minnesota, those northern states are gonna have colder winters, more snow, sub-zero temperatures. Here it's not gonna be that way. It will be more mild, but you're still gonna have cold temperatures. You're still gonna have wind. I think that's kind of the two components of our winters. Colder temperatures, not a lot of snowfall, maybe 6 to 8 inches all year long. So very minimal snowfall, but you will have a heavier wind. So sometimes the cold can feel colder because of the wind. So all 4 seasons, gonna have a winter, but it's gonna be a little shorter, a little bit more mild of a winter. Another con for this area could just be this area, right? This is a remote kind of place to live. There's not a lot of big city stuff around here. Now, if you need big city stuff, you can always go to Kansas City or St. Louis, maybe go down to Branson for some entertainment type things. But this is not going to be a big city place, right? With big city amenities, big city sports, concerts, art districts, like none of that stuff is gonna be here. maybe you don't want that stuff anymore, right? So pro con, I guess, depends on who you are. But for those folks that do want those things, again, you're traveling to St. Louis, Kansas City, or you're going to Branson, but you're not gonna have that big city feel with those big city amenities. You're not even gonna really have a city feel. There's not really any type of downtown kind of feel. There's the strip and there's a retail kind of road and there's stuff, right? But it's not gonna be like your downtown vibe, where a lot of people like to have that downtown community, right? Those 4, 5, 6 square blocks of shopping and entertainment and restaurants and things like that. You're not gonna have any of that. So that's not gonna be here. This is gonna be a little bit more spread out, a little bit more remote, still plenty of things to do, but you're probably driving to those things. You're not really walking from shop to shop. And so pro con, guess it depends on what you want, but for those that need that big city stuff, again, Kansas City, St. Louis, or go down to Branson, they got plenty of stuff for entertainment down there as well. Another con of the area, which goes along with that big city stuff, is just public transportation. I don't know if you need it, could be a con, might not be, but it's not a big public transportation kind of place. You're not gonna have a robust busing system or trains or any of that kind of stuff. You have a few here and there, and even when it comes to like Ubers and Lyfts and that type of stuff, yes, they're here. It's just not as accessible as it can be in other places. There are water taxis. Again, it takes time. Go back to the whole relax and enjoy the area and slow down a little bit. If you need public transportation or those Ubers or Lyfts, relax, slow down. It's gonna take a little bit. So hey, a con, public transportation, not really too big of a thing, but if you don't need it, then maybe it's not a con, I don't know. If you don't need the public transportation and you're just driving around, another potential con could be the understanding of the roads that you're about to drive on. So if you haven't been here, I highly encourage you to take a trip. Come visit, come hang out. Let us drive you around so you can get a feel for the roadways. This is not a flat surface. This is not a grid pattern. Everything is hilly, curvy, steep, gravel, your driveway, everything. There's nothing that is smooth and simple and flat, very little, right? So if that's an issue, you're gonna wanna explore that sooner than later, because this is a mountainous area, big hills, big trees, a lot of nature, curvy roads. Your driveway, if your lakefront property, is going to be steep, right? So imagine flooding the mountain range, right? You're gonna have to drive out of your driveway, which is probably steep. And then to get out to the main roads, you're still driving kind of up the mountain in order to get onto the main road on top. And so once you get there, you're still driving on very curvy, tricky roads, right? Surrounded by nature. So deer and raccoon and armadillo and all sorts of things are gonna be jumping out at you at the same time. So listen, no public transportation, no problem. If you have to drive yourself, maybe it's a problem. I don't know if it's a con or not. If you're used to it, you're used to it. If you're not, I highly encourage you to come down. Nothing is simple, everything is curvy, super steep, some wild, steep driveways that if you're not used to it, it'll catch you off guard. Eventually you will get used to it because you will slow down and pay attention and be careful. But until then, it's definitely gonna be unique to get used to it. Because of the area you live in and the mountains and the nature and the trees, and I talk about it all the time, and it should be my #1 con, and it might be, but it leads me into the con of bugs and spiders and creepy crawlies and all sorts of stuff. And every time I do this video, you guys all comment and y'all tell me you're crazy and there's no bugs and blah, blah, blah. And you're wrong. They're bugs and they're all over the place. So you gotta understand that when you come down here, you are in nature. You are in a hot, humid area during the summertime. And with that comes skeeters and June bugs and creepy crawlies and all sorts of weird stuff that you don't know what's happening. I'm telling you, you gotta have a bug guy. So you gotta power wash your house at the beginning of the season, your bug guy better be on point and come out and spray consistently. And then at the end of the season, you're still power washing and spraying all that crap off your house. So if you're not a fan of bugs, or you don't like creepy crawlies, or you don't like things flying around your head, or you don't like that at all, I promise you, you might have a problem with it down here. If you're already kind of used to it or it's not that big of a deal, cool, calm down. You're still gonna wanna attract yourself a bug guy. You're gonna be on point with it, right? We bought our property. We were pleasantly surprised by the amount of bugs to the point where my wife almost bounced and sold the place and left until we found the bug guy and kind of figured it out. So anyway, long ramble. I'm telling you, don't comment and tell me there are no bugs here. I promise you there are bugs. You're gonna wanna get it figured out. All right, and the last con to talk about is maybe just some of the affordability on some of the lakefront homes. So depending on who you are and what your budget is, looking for that perfect lakefront home in that perfect area could potentially stretch your budget outside your comfort range. I don't know, right? Depends on who you are, what you're looking to do, your price, your budget, your cost, your affordability. But some people we talk to that want to be in the heart, they gotta be close, they want certain things. You have to understand that Lake of the Ozarks is on the map, right? It's no longer a hidden secret. There's a TV show, there's HGTVs. People know about it. So with that, it's becoming more and more of an attraction. More things are happening here, which is raising property values, which is making it healthy for your investment, pro in a con video. But to get into it, it could be a little bit challenging. Again, I don't know, right? It could be easy. It's just a matter of, again, your affordability. But because it's no longer a hidden secret, the value properties continue to rise, right? With that becomes affordability. And some people get pushed from that lakefront home to that second tier home. Again, just kind of depends on your budget and your price range. So with all of those cons, if you can handle a little bit of traffic, you can handle a little bit of milder, coldish winter, you understand that there's big city stuff close by, but not 100% here, you're okay with squishing a bug from time to time, and your affordability allows you to live here. If all of those cons still don't detract you from moving here, then maybe this actually could be the perfect place for you. And all of those really aren't cons. They could be potential pros. I don't know, but a fun little video to share with you along the way on some things that are happening here, some reasons why people feel that they're cons, to each his own. And obviously, whatever it is that you need here, whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever it is that we can help you with, we would love to do those, right? These videos are fun to make, but obviously talking to you is more fun. So call me, text me, email me. Let me know what I can do to help you. We'll talk through the pros, we'll talk through the cons. Obviously, we can get you set up on a home search and help you out with whatever you need. So until we do that, we'll just see you on the next video. Bye.